Okay, so today we're going to present on our project, Envision Educare. So before I start talking about our project, I'll just briefly go through our main focus group, which are the Rohingyas. As you may know, there has been a crisis for quite a while now, and the United Nations has described the Rohingya population as one of the most persecuted minorities around the world. There are currently around 77,130 Rohingya people residing illegally in Malaysia. These people live invisibly, and as such, they don't have access. They don't have access.
It's on. Just hold on to it.
I'm sorry. As such, they don't have access to education and healthcare. So, the most unfortunate victims of this process is the children. The children often are illiterate and they can't even speak English. So, when we first came together, we decided to create something of an impact. And while we discussed, we isolated the fact that if these children can't speak English, then they won't be able to integrate in society, they won't be able to communicate and get jobs. So we decided to create a platform where we teach these children basic English skills for 6 weeks. We created a website to advertise our project more efficiently. So here it is, our website. This is our pitch video, but because of time inconvenience, we won't play it. Here's what we do. It's a platform where university students act as volunteers to teach Rohingyas basic English skills. So these are the main two parties, volunteers and Rohingya children. The core essence of Envision is the hard work of our volunteers. So we need dedicated volunteers who are committed to our cause and work hard to teach those Rohingyas English for 6 weeks. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's a register link where the volunteers go to register before engaging in our project. I'll now pass to Hasib, who will explain the performance of our project.
Hi everyone. So basically, these are 3 criteria that we use to measure our project performance: budget, schedule, and meeting customers' expectations. So our approved budget was 3,000 ringgits, and this budget that we spent on our project is 3,326 ringgits. So the difference between the approved budget and the spent budget is 326 ringgit. So our project is slightly over budget, but it is within the 10% range, so it is acceptable. The next criteria is schedule. We have 7 milestones in our project, and we completed all the milestones on schedule except the food and beverages one. It took 2 more days to complete this task. So now Yening will explain more about.
So since the aim of our project is to provide education for those in need, which in this case are the Rohingya refugees, what determines the successfulness of this project is basically what the Rohingya refugees learn and gain from this experience. So our success criteria is basically a 10% increase in basic oral and written test score. So how we get the percentage increase is basically all the refugees were required to do 2 tests on basic oral and their writing skill. So there's test 1 and test 2. So basically they have to do test 1 when they arrive and test 2 before they leave. And then the tests have a score range of 0 to 40 points. And after that, the test 2 will then be used to compare with test 1 to obtain the percentage score increase in the basic oral and written test scores. So this is the graph for the percentage score increase for each refugee. in the oral and written tests. So basically from here you can see that actually they are all above the 10% mark. They have a score improvement of 10% and above, and even some of them showed like an outstanding performance of 30% and above, which is here. Yeah. The most notable ones are these two, which they achieved like 80% score improvement in their oral tests. So basically, our customers actually expected a lot from us, and we try our best to provide what we can for them. Even though there's like 2 days delay in the food and beverages, and there even is a slight over budgeting, but it's still in the acceptable range since it does not affect the project process and the outcome. So now I'll pass it to Agatha.
So now I'll talk about our project accomplishment. Envision Educare Refugee Tutoring Program aimed to increase the English language literacy level of the Rohingya refugees. We are proud to say that we have accomplished this goal and in fact surpassed it. So we originally expected only a 10% increase in the written scores and also the oral test scores, but we actually get an average increase of 15%. And besides achieving our targeted goal, we have done the following with the help of our volunteers as well. So we made a donation of foodstuff worth 1,500 ringgit, cash donation of 1,000 ringgit, and also donation of teaching materials that includes books and stationeries. So volunteers also given us some really good feedback after attending the program. So Athena said that she never thought it was so difficult to teach children how to read and write until she's experienced it herself. And she's become a more patient and loving person after this. And we have Aloysius saying that he feels that he's very fortunate to have been in a better environment since birth as compared to the Rohingya refugees. And this has taught him to be more appreciative of what we have because we should not take anything for granted. And lastly, we have Subin saying that it's a sense of achievement and accomplishment after joining our project because he finally got to break the communication barrier and he can express himself and slowly convey the message to the children that he was in charge of. So we can see that this program is very beneficial to the volunteers and also the refugees itself, and it's not just the volunteers giving back to the society. And next, I'll pass it to Ting Yap.
Yes. So, for our future projects, we are proud to present to you Envision Educare 2.0 for your contemplation. So, what we are doing differently this time is that we're going to be far more ambitious in our activities. We will ramp up our recruitment activities so that we can get more volunteers. We will work harder so that we can liaise with more refugee centers. In the map here, there are many to choose from. We'll choose within 3 to 4 so they can get a much better scope of refugee children. And finally, that's so we can have a much more impact in our project. And also, since we have learned in our previous project, our Envision Educare 1.0, that risks can really destroy the project depending on how bad it is. So what we hope is, from my experience, to capitalize it on a proper improved risk management plan. So we can sit together at the beginning of the project, so we can work on proper contingency plans for whatever you can think of. So in addition, why should you, as investors and as sponsors, invest in Envision Educare 2.0? So first is, what you'll be doing is you'll be giving back to the community. So first you see this image. This is the image of Rohingya Muslims on the run. This is the image of Rohingya children, happy, smiling faces. So should you invest in Envision Educare 2.0, this is the result that you would achieve. So you will provide these children a far better platform for them to grow in so that they can better reintegrate into society. And finally, also, why should you invest, as investors, invest in Envision Educare? You will be able to meet your marketing goals because corporate social responsibility. Our Prime Minister, Mahathir Mohamad, he, in his United Nations speech, made mention of how the atrocities in Myanmar are just cruel and it's grossly unjust on what's going on there. So if even he is making strong mention of this, if you as a firm were to invest in Envision Educare 2.0, you'll be able to present yourself as an image of someone who is doing the right thing, so that you can inspire loyalty in both your customers and your employees. So yeah, that is our pitch for today. Thank you very much. Can we have any questions? Yes.
How are you gonna get your volunteers? I mean, you can reach out to Rohingya communities, but how are you gonna convince your volunteers to help?
Okay. Do anyone? Okay. So basically, our process was we were for Envision Educare 1.0, we reached out to volunteers in Monash. Basically, we set up a booth so we can promote there, and then also we mainly promoted through social media activities, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And through that, we managed to meet our goal of the required number of volunteers, so that we can get a ratio of 1 to 2, 1 teacher to 2 students. Therefore, we can provide a higher quality education. In Envision Educare 2.0, since we're going to reach out to more refugees, what we're going to do is we are planning to, of course, reach out to more as much as we can, and maybe hopefully even contemplate on reaching on those like outside of university, depending on how things go. It's all still in the planning phase. Thank you for the question. It's a good question. Any more questions?
No more questions, then thank you very much.